Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And today was my maiden flight with this little guy. Uh, I'm still at awe. I mean, I've been flying for the last couple days in the simulator, but today I did my first flight, and actually, believe it or not, my first flight was with the motion controller. And it's actually extremely windy outside. We are talking about if it was raining right now, it would be raining sideways. So, first impression, I got airborne, and for the first probably like 30 seconds using this, I was like, please don't crash, please don't crash, please don't crash. Because I honestly had no clue what I was doing. The cool thing about the motion controller, again, I will review it fully at a later time, but it gives you a little circle on the screen in the goggles where the drone is headed. So it's very difficult to actually crash the drone while using the motion controller because you know where you're going. So here's my flight. It started off nice. Again, it was very windy. It started off slow. Then I sort of decided to go over to the neighbor's property and do a little flyover. I didn't go that far, but one thing I noticed, and this is probably because I did not use the phone with the setup. I just used the goggles, the motion controller, and the drone. So there was no phone hooked up, there was no tablet hooked up, so there was no Wi-Fi, no 3G, nothing. I did not have a map up on display. So when I got up there, when I got up to like 70 meters, I had no clue where I was because I was lost at the location. Good thing is I know from because I flew so many tens of hours in this area. As soon as I stopped, positioned myself, I saw where I was at, and I started to come back. I didn't fly that far. I flew only a couple hundred meters, and I flew in normal mode. This was normal mode with a motion controller, not sport mode. And then the flight back, I was like, I saw a heron, and I'm like, let's see how cool it would be to chase it. And let me tell you, with the motion controller, chasing anything, I was chasing a big bird, but chasing anything is so easy. Basically, your trigger is your accelerator, and where you point that thing is where the drone goes. This is probably the greatest invention for drones ever since drones first came out. Because to be able to basically just point into in a specific direction and have your controller direct the drone there at the speed you choose, it was freaking amazing. I loved every second of it. There was a slight problem when it came to land the drone. So I flew around for about like a total of I think like 5 minutes, and I still have my battery at like 70%. So when the time came to land the drone, because I was using the motion controller, I actually forgot how to do it. I remember that if you hold, I think like the lock button, it will go home, but I didn't want to go home. My return to home altitude is 100 meters. And in addition to that, when I was flying out, I had a tree above me. So I had branches above me. So I just sort of like gave it my best guess, and I hit the lock button twice, and on my display in the goggles it said landing. I'm like, oh, thank you. I don't have to crash this drone on my first try. Well, I was hovering at like 1 meter, and one thing I could always do is just snap it out of the air. but I don't think my propellers have auto shut off. So the first flight ended successfully. I made mistakes. I took something away from those mistakes. I learned something. So it's good. But again, I would like to say this, put this out there. This drone, for the first flight, it actually exceeded my expectations. This is very difficult to do. I will remind you, I flew a shit ton of drones to this day. So I flew the Mavics, the Minis. The only thing I didn't fly is FPV. So I don't know how FPV behaves. I'm not even gonna put it in the manual mode yet. But the drone exceeded my expectations. I'm still at awe. I'm gonna keep practicing in the simulator with the manual mode. Am I gonna do manual mode anytime soon? Probably not. They say you need at least 10 hours in the simulator before you can like fly manual mode. I need way more than that. I want to be so sure of myself when flying manual mode. I think I'll need like 100 hours in the simulator. So other than that, the motion controller, this is my new best friend because I'm gonna use this mainly, the actual controller. I'm gonna set the stick the way it's supposed to be set so it doesn't reset for the manual, but normal mode and sport mode, I'm only gonna fly with the motion controller. I'm not even gonna touch the remote. This thing is unbelievable. I'm gonna do a complete separate video just dedicated to this, but let me tell you, if you're gonna get a DJI FPV drone, yeah, this thing is so cool. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you like drones, if you like tech. Right now I'm into drones. Oh, and here's the thing. This is like post-scriptum. I just wanted to add this at the end of the video. Doesn't have any relationship to the DJI FPV. It's drones in specific. As you know, I'm in Ukraine. Ukraine is at war right now. I will say, but don't turn off the video just yet. I will say, like, if you can donate, please donate. Please help Ukraine. I actually just had a call, and I don't even ask anybody anymore, like, where do you get my phone number from? Because my phone number is like out there. I had a guy call me, and he's like, I've been told you can fix a drone. I'm like, well, I can teach you how to fly a drone without breaking it. I can teach you how to operate it. I can sell you a drone, but I don't really do much fixing unless it's like a very simple fix. He's like, but I told him, like, well, tell me about it. Tell me. He's like, well, my buds crashed a Mini 2. We're only talking about army because right now the only people who can fly drones are actually just Ukrainian army. And I'm like, well, there's a service in Kiev, and I actually think they're fixing drones for the army for free. So I gave him the contact information. He was very grateful because he didn't even think of that. He didn't think anybody was working, anybody was operating during wartime. I told him, like, just call them. They will take care of you. They fixed a couple of my drones too. Why do I bring this up? It is illegal to fly drones in Ukraine right now. The reason I can fly drones right here is because my my family's estate, the neighboring estate, between us we have like 40 acres. I can fly above these 40 acres. If I take the other neighbors, I can fly above them. They don't care. They all know that I fly. Everybody in the village knows that I'm the only one flying. They don't have a problem with me. They're not gonna accuse me of espionage. But I can't fly anywhere else safely. So today I brought this up. I'm like, well, how can I get a permission to basically fly anywhere I want? Because everybody knows me. I'm not a spy. I want to fly above the places where the Russians actually blew stuff up, hit civilian structures like the school in our town, the barracks, the 10 residential homes that were destroyed with one half-a-ton bomb. So I want to record all those from the air. And tomorrow, well, today actually, not myself, but my father met with a person who sort of has access to those kind of permissions. And I told him, just ask him, just ask. I'm curious if it's at all possible. And the answer I got is like, yeah, you actually, the guy we met, like his boss is responsible for giving out those permissions. And he's like, yeah, you just write, basically, I guess it's a like declaration. You put your name in there, you put your drone in there, the serial number of the drone. Yeah, everything has to be registered. Your passport information. So basically, I mean, maybe even fingerprints. I don't care. And they're like, yeah, and we review it. We review who you are and either give you permission to fly or don't give you permission to fly. Because there was just an incident the other day. Somebody tried to do the same thing I want to do, record the destroyed properties. And his drone was immediately shot down out of the sky by by the military because, again, I told those guys how to do it, how to properly shut the drones out of the sky. And he was immediately apprehended, and he's facing some charges. And I think it's up to 7 years in prison if you break that rule. It's either a fine or up to 7 years in prison. So if you're gonna actually want to travel to Ukraine while Ukraine is still at war, don't bring your drone. Probably you're not gonna get that permission. You really need to be vetted to get that permission, because I've been working with the army since like day one, consulting them on everything UAV from the civilian side of things. And there's like maybe 100 of us in the entire country who have been doing that. We may, so see, I don't even know if they will give me this permission, but we may get this permission. But if you're just gonna want to come to Ukraine, and some people want to come to Ukraine, they want to come like through Poland or through Hungary, and they just want to see for themselves what's happening. I mean, we have politicians from all over the world coming here. We had Angelina Jolie come to Lviv like a week ago, or no, like 2 weeks ago. So everybody wants to come here just to see for themselves, and that's okay. You're more than welcome. Just don't bring your drone, because the tensions are high, and when people see drones, they want to shoot them out of the sky. And we're talking about pretty much everybody right now, like every third person in Ukraine is in the military or involved with the military one way or another. So we're talking about millions of possible soldiers. So that's it. I thank you guys for watching. If you want to help my family and I, because I blew through my savings and I'm broke, and like YouTube right now is my only source of income because of the war, man. So you have my PayPal. If you want to get drones to the Ukrainian army, again, you have my PayPal. But if you're gonna give money towards a drone, do like Brian did and other guys did and other girls did, make sure to write in the description of the payment that this is for the drones for the Ukrainian army, and I will either get them the actual drone or I'll get them the batteries. I've done that before, or get them whatever they need, or even like supplies that may not be related to drones, but I'll get that to them if I can, because I mean I have those channels open. I just had the other day a guy call me up out of the blue. He's like, yeah, I busted my drone, but the drone is operational, but I don't have any propellers. He's like, do you have any propellers? I'm like, yeah. I had the propellers on the way to him within 10 minutes of his phone call. So that's how it works in Ukraine. Most people don't understand it. They don't understand how all of a sudden the entire nation became family. We are on such relations, probably like 90% of us. trust is very essential. So like if you break somebody's trust in Ukraine right now, I had people, I would send people drones without them actually sending me money first, the ones I was selling, or I had people send me stuff and I'm like, I'll send you the money like today or tomorrow. Trust is essential, but we're like the entire Ukraine is like one huge family. I just sent a battery out to a guy and I'm like, there you go. So he wanted the remote. He saw that I have a battery that I'm offering. He's like, can you send the battery to me too? I'm like, there you go. So it's just one of those things. We became very like a family nation because of one a-hole who decided to cause genocide in a neighboring country. So that's kind of it. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. This video is actually in 4K because my drone flight was in 4K and I hope you liked it. And subscribe to the channel. Help Ukraine any way you can, if you can, even if it's just, you know, honestly, I've seen people send letters to Ukraine, and that's moral support. That's more than enough in many cases, because when those guys who are fighting at the front lines, when they read these letters, many letters actually came with humanitarian aid. People would get like a package of food and there would be like a letter with the kids drawn inside. It makes national news. Those things make national news in Ukraine because people show how caring the other nations are towards us when Ukraine is in a very bad situation. So it's just amazing how everybody pulled together. Ukraine is family-oriented nation right now. Our neighboring nations, United States, Australia even, like the farthest nation from us, sends aid to us. So it's just amazing how the world pulled together around this one extremely dangerous war. It pulled everybody in, but everybody pretty much made friends. So that's kind of it for today. I thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to like this video. Make sure to leave a comment. And I'll see you guys later.